So I just got done watching the Super Bowl. Pretty good game. The Eagles beat the Chiefs 40-22, and they are Super Bowl 59 champions. Good game all in all, and I enjoyed it. And it's the last game of the season, and we don't get any more NFL football for another 6 months. But at halftime, I saw what was probably the worst commercial I've ever seen in my life. And not just the worst Super Bowl commercial, the worst commercial ever. The Super Bowl commercials this year were pretty ass, I'm not gonna lie. Most of them were really try hard and just weren't that funny. It seems like they've been getting worse the last few years. Not to be a negative Nelly, but it just kind of seems like they have. And I wasn't the only one who disliked this particular commercial, because I went to the YouTube page where it was posted, and the comments are just filled with people talking about how horrible it is. So without further ado, let's play the commercial.
Jaworski, you're on thin ice, mister!
Hey, Principal P.
Stop kicking your principal! Everybody's on thin ice!
What's this? A Dorkosaurus Rex?
Come on, Chad. I don't want any trouble.
Leave him alone. I'll kick your butt, Chad.
Hey, Chad. Check out the new girl.
Ew, what is she wearing?
Girls don't play football.
They do where I'm from.
So yeah, right off the bat, pretty cringe. When I first saw this commercial too, I originally thought like it was supposed to be some sort of parody or something like that. But nope, it's completely serious, and it takes itself completely serious. But right off the bat, they're portraying the men as the bad guys. The boys are the bullies, and this girl, the main character, is going to embarrass the bullies. You can already tell that's what it's setting up for. I'm not like a big fan of this gender war bullshit. I'm really not. I think we should all just get along and help each other out. I think we're all better off when we're working together. But the NFL apparently doesn't agree, because they're trying to sow division. And I'm no marketing executive like the geniuses they have working for the NFL in their marketing department, but I think a much better message perhaps would be if the boys came up to the girls and said, hey, let's all play football together and let's all help each other out. I think that would be a much better message to send, but they have an agenda to push, of course, and they're trying to pander to the feminists now. And since they're pandering to the feminists, they of course have to make the men the bad guys. Because, as we all know, feminism is not about equal rights, it's about hating men. Anyone with common sense will tell you that. So the boy in the situation comes up to the girl and says, girls don't play football, and she's offended by that. And she says, they do where I'm from. What situation would this ever happen in? That's why I said I thought it was a parody, because when would this ever happen, ever? But trust me, this does get worse, and the men bashing does get worse, unfortunately.
Get a load of this one. Think fast!
You think fast.
So, sexual violence against men is funny now. Okay, well, I think it doesn't have to be said, but imagine if genders were reversed. The outcry, just imagine.
Right in the Jimmy John's.
I hate to pause it so soon again, but really, NFL, that's the best joke you could come up with, right in the Jimmy Johnson? Come on. This is beyond cringe.
This ain't over.
We just getting started, Chad.
Get the flag!
Let's go, let's go! Get down, get down. Come on, bring it there, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, little girl bad.
Enough! Let's settle this once and for all. Your best guy?
Girl.
Whatever. Versus our best guy. The Brad.
Oh, not the Brad. I'm Brad.
I can read.
My body is burning, it starts to shout. Desire's coming, it breaks out. The night is calling,
There you go! You got both!
Now, if you've watched literally 10 seconds of any sport ever in your entire life, you know that this would never happen. There's no world ever where a woman beats a man in an athletic endeavor ever. Just period, straight up. It won't happen. But I love how the feminists can literally not uplift women without degrading men. Like, it is impossible for them. It is impossible.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Leave the past behind. Leave this commercial behind, dog. This is horrible. You ain't doing the Saquon Barkley. You ain't doing the reverse hurdle. I'm sorry. You're not doing that against a man. You're just not. He would reach up, grab your leg, and pull you down, and you would have a broken neck. That's what would actually happen in real life. But we're in fantasy land, so apparently a woman can do the reverse hurdle Saquon Barkley over a full-grown man. That's happening. And the comments were just absolutely filled with people clowning on this commercial. And of course you had, your normal amount of white knights, kind of soy boy, soft dudes that were trying to, show how much they respect women. You're going to find that in pretty much any comment section ever. There's really two, ends to the incel spectrum, I would say. There's, the men who can't get women and they hate women, and then there's the men who can't get women and they try and make it their life's mission to stick up for women and show how much of a feminist they are. And so there's really two ends to that spectrum. And so when you see guys that are in the comments trying to stick up for women, that's one end of the incel spectrum, I would say. But there's a few comments that I found pretty interesting and illuminating, really. So we'll start off with this one. And this comment reads, "Why do they have to make commercials like this? Couldn't they have had a message where both men and females support the sport together? It just makes people mad, and they start pointing out all the times younger male athletes have played against professional female athletes and won. The privileged first world just doesn't know how to properly support women anymore without doing this." And I would say this is true. Wouldn't it send a more positive message if the boys in this commercial were trying to help the women get better at their sport, and then the women went out and competed against another team of women and they won, and they all celebrated together, the boys and the girls celebrated together, and maybe the commercial could end with the boys taking the girls out to lunch to celebrate their victory, and then maybe it could show the boys attending the games and cheering the girls on. Because what this commercial really does is it teaches young girls that boys are always going to be against them, when that's just simply not the case. There's a lot of boys who are passionate about sports and they want other people to be passionate about sports. In fact, one of the things that I love about sports is that it doesn't matter where you come from, what your racial makeup is, your gender, your economic status, your political beliefs, your religion, anything. You can participate and enjoy sports no matter who you are. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about sports, and one of the things I kind of fell in love with about sports. And I think commercials like this kind of send a somewhat disturbing message. And the message is that men are always going to try and keep women out of sports, when I would say the opposite is true. To me, I think the more people who love sports, I think that's better for the world. And one of the reasons I started this channel is for that exact reason. I don't care who watches my videos. Anyone's welcome, truly. And so I think that really this commercial is almost in a sense lying to the audience and to some impressionable kids who may be watching the Super Bowl. And it's telling those kids, and sadly especially young girls, that not only are they not going to be able to succeed in sports because of men, but they're not going to be supported by men. And I think that's pretty sad. And of course, in this video's comments section, you had a whole bunch of people just clowning on the NFL and just making jokes. And honestly, I find those jokes pretty funny. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this is, a pretty sad message, really, that instead of trying to show a commercial where men help women, they tried to show a commercial where men are just trying to hurt women. And I think that that's a pretty disturbing message to be sending. The pretty messed up commercial overall. And I'm not really one to get too worked up about these sorts of things, but I mean, come on, man, it's pretty disturbing. But anyway, guys, that's probably about it for me. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. But either way, peace out.